Hi, I'm Quan Tracy Shear, and I'm here with Tavish Carter. We got fourth Wednesday, astrological live. We're here at Equal Minded Cafe on Truce, and I'm just over the moon to be talking about Pisces season and AstrORM with Tavish Carter. Tavish, would you introduce yourself and tell us what we're looking at today?
What are we looking at today?
I
am Tavish Carter, co-founder with Juan of Our Raw Material, and we have been working on a little side project, AstrORM, which takes the essence of each sign.
And you mentioned something off camera, the next level to astrology. So there is this, because we can get too much into the esoteric side of astrology. I know I'm guilty AF.
Remember when I refused to learn all of the quid and cuts and whatever those aspects are? I'll look at the numbers, but I won't learn the words. But I think it points to my relationship with astrology, which has gone on for as long as yours, but just not as in-depth and not as studied and not nearly as profound. However, I gravitated toward the simplicity of astrology. And with that, we created the AstrORM, which is using the essence. So when you talk next level, we're talking about using it for your life. How do you actually make astrology work for you? Not by knowing where your deficits are or your strengths are, but how to use them and how to fill in the cracks.
Well, yeah, I mean, because part of our raw material is, 12 pillars that begins at the solstice and each equinox. 12 signs, 12 pillars, and the pillars, like for instance, we have 4 planets right now in Pisces, #Pisces season. Well, Pisces is the 12th sign, and the 12th pillar is wholeness. So when you look at a situation from the perspective of wholeness, and we all are looking at how we can live from a perspective of wholeness, how would you define wholeness? How would you define wholeness?
Wholeness, it's just being able to believe that every single moment is perfect and exactly as it's supposed to be. And I think as human beings, that's practically impossible for us to take in. But when we operate outside of our own mind's idea about what is correct or good, and we go to just what's before us and look at that as what we are supposed to have. It's a shift in mindset, but it's also a lot more natural way to live.
Yeah, and particularly when we look at our souls and our soul's perspective as it relates to our growth and evolution. So wholeness says, what are you learning? What does the situation present for itself from an evolutionary or growth perspective? And that's different than how we're taught from an ego or an intellectual perspective of either blame or guilt or shame or pity or any number of reactionary feelings. Now, if we take it just to Pisces, go back to the astrology part. Astrology, Pisces' key phrase is I believe. So we can get stuck in beliefs that don't serve our ability to connect from a position of growth and wholeness.
Or we can be the essence of Pisces and push on that belief system with the power of water, and it's going to spill over the rigid belief system into something that has to see outside.
I just saw the child with the finger in the dam, and releasing the finger. Then the water comes out and goes over the, I feel it.
So I'm gonna break down all of the depth of what you just said to just simply finding balance or finding the positive and negative, or the lesson, if you will, out of every situation that is before you, rather than seeing it as an esoteric exercise. So let's just bring it down to essence, a little astrological alchemy. How do we play around with the signs so that we use them to our benefit? What is essential Aries?
From the AstrORM, it's mentors, and it has to deal with understanding the people that you are connected to from family, but also everybody who's affected you. And you have a play on words with mentors and tormentors. So it doesn't have to, we think of mentors and we put them on the pedestal and all of that, but it can also be the people who kind of pissed you off or taught you from what in the essence of it from a negative. But you look back from an evolutionary growth and you go, wow, I learned some of my best lessons from this individual. And it takes you out of the combative, because you think Aries and you think combative and argumentative and warrior and independent. I mean, just the word Aries. But if you,
so let's stick with those for the essential.
the essentials.
It's fiery.
Fire, yes.
It's pioneering.
Yes.
It's gonna rush into action.
No doubt.
So you need to get something done really fast. You want to throw some Aries energy into this.
Yes. For sure.
Let's just look at what qualities would you want to pull from Aries, essentially. If you're gonna make a little, you're gonna make your best combination, you personally, your own best combination of the essence of each sign. What do you want to draw from Aries?
Directness, sense of purpose, action, and ideas or vision are male. They're connected.
What do you want to draw from the essence of Taurus?
Taurus, oh, beautiful. Taurus is earth in astrology, but in our material, AstrORM, Taurus is music. And so it's the
Spirit.
Yeah, spirit. It is harmony and melody. And we think about music as how it inspires us. Even if we don't know the language that the person is singing, we get the feeling or the mood from. And so Taurus, when we want to draw upon a level of intelligence that's beyond the mind and go more into how is it making us become alive, then I see music in Taurus.
So give me a situation, a scenario where you would want to pull Taurus energy into the mix.
When I want to understand stuff without words sometimes, when I just want to feel the vibration of it.
Spit, solid, and deep.
Yes.
All right, I love that.
And then we got Gemini.
Essential Gemini.
Essential Gemini is
Quick.
yes, and it's witty and it's investigative and it's curious, and so there is this side of Gemini that's constantly feeding itself, and then we give the pillar of nourishment to Gemini's food. So how do you feed your minds? How do you feed your spirit? How do you feed your body? And then what happens? How can you be more accepting and understanding of those people who maybe grew up food insecure, or people who don't read books or they're not curious? How can we give a level of understanding and compassion once we hear someone's story that's different from our own?
You're asking Gemini to give you compassion?
Yeah, I think Gemini can be compassionate. And I think that's one of the misunderstood qualities about Gemini is that first of all, zodiac means circle of animals. So we got Aries the ram, Taurus the bull. Gemini is the first human on the circle of animals. And it's the twins.
It's also the first poking we get at who we are.
Oh, totally. Whether it's from a sibling, whether it's from a neighbor.
First interruption.
Yep. And one of the things I love to tell my Gemini clients, or when they are accessing that side of themselves. Because one of the things that I know Tavish and I go back and forth on is understanding not only the simplicity of AstrORM, but understanding the rooted way in which we're all connected, and how when we're coming from the soul, we we lean beyond our tolerance. We really go into our acceptance and our empathy. And Gemini, as the twins, has this quality of almost always negotiating, you know? And so, and when you know that, then you don't take it as personally, because that's their shtick. You know, it's to
very astute.
You know, that's the thing.
It's giving Gemini a lot of credit. I think they deserve it.
I really do. All signs can be misunderstood, but one of the things that a Gemini taught me, or mentioned, who's actually our director of this, he
No
taught.
shame in the Gemini game.
Yeah, he taught me that. He said, "Wow, I have all 12 pillars. I have all 12 signs within." And I said, "You got it. Here's the goal. A major goal of our material is to understand wholeness, but AstrORM is demystifying, simplifying the energy or the essence of each sign."
Getting to the basics.
Yeah.
And I think part of our raw material was built for a Gemini, my husband. And, I think because it gives them a framework to run free and loose in, it gives parameters that make everything be able to sync. They don't have to fly in 8 million directions when they can just hit 12 and cover all bases. Superpowers activated, here you go.
The twin powers, you know, or the Power Rangers. Anyway, so after Gemini,
Wonders.
Wonder Twins, we have Cancer, and the fourth pillar in our raw material is ignorance. And
How much are you aware of what you don't know?
yep, and what I find fascinating about that question, of all the knowledge there is to know, what percentage would you consider that you know? There's an inverse proportion that the smaller the number. When I hear someone answer .000 versus someone who gives whole numbers, and this is me just casting a little shade, because after all, I have an eighth pillar, I work with the eighth pillar of conflict, which we'll get to. But the smaller the number, the person tends to see themselves as more intelligent, because they realize how much they don't know.
I agree.
You know, so, what do you tell? What's one of your essential energies of Cancer?
Cancer,
Yeah.
caring. I mean,
Caring.
caring. And if they're not cared for, they are not going to care. Right? It's all about caring with Cancer. And a well cared for Cancer can take care of everyone else.
Well, I want to repeat what you just said, because there's profundity in that. If they're not cared for, they're not going to care. You know what I mean? So anybody who has some Cancer, and yes, Cancer people in your life, that's the astrology. But we all have that essential energy.
We can pull in Cancer energy when we need it.
Yeah.
And even if there's no water in your chart, you've been around a Cancer person, you know how they act, and you know how they pull you in and give you a hug when they, from across the room. And you can do that. We can all use the energy of the people that we know, as well as the energy within ourselves. And I think that's what AstrORM really strives to do for each of us, is give us the tools to create the little energetic concoction we need for whatever we're about to walk into. So, Leos walking onto a stage, what's the essence that we...
Well, the fifth sign, the fifth pillar represents feelings. And Leo, being connected to our heart, that's where our feelings, our authentic expression comes from. And it's a fiery energy like Aries or Sagittarius, but the fire of the heart is tempered by a certain, I think, dignity that Leo comes in. Feelings don't mean that you just come in and you just, run roughshod. Although that can be there as the Lestat Saint-Moi. I mean, that was King, whatever his name was, King Louis, the French king. And he said, the state is me, Well, we know what happened to him. He got his head cut off. But, so Leo is metaphorically. Leo is the cut off the head, the ego, the identity. It come from the heart, come from the body intelligence of how we're all connected.
So it's the beginning of the interpersonal science. It goes to emotion. So it really is about being on a stage of being expressive, but doing that with the knowledge that you're connected to something beyond yourself.
Yep.
And maybe the head cut off the ego expression is good because a lot of times the ego doesn't understand or has no awareness that it's connected. So when we infuse the energy of awareness of connection, now we're really setting things in motion to light up the room.
And then to leave a legacy, because Leo is traditionally associated with children, so it's to leave a legacy not only with our children, but with everyone's inner child. So that innocent of expression that's virtuous and spontaneous. Those feelings, that melding of those two things. They're not pious. They're not
I
talking.
can feel that part building up.
And then after Leo, we're on the stage and we're coming off the stage, we get the cleanup crew in Virgo. And Virgo is the spiritual week of listening in AstrORM. So how do we listen?
So you say cleanup crew, but let's really look to Virgo as being the essential. I mean, we call them martyrs. We look, but they really do hold in that deal, and they hold the space for grace, and they are a lot more tolerant and patient than some of the rest of us. So those energies are so helpful to the spirit of listening, the listening pillar, and the soul energy that we want the Leo essence to attach to.
And then after Virgo, we're now in. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, we're gonna come back in 4 weeks and talk about the upper hemisphere, Libra through Pisces.
Where we really start relating.
Yes, and that's because we want to be mindful of your time, we want to be mindful of where we are, and the wholeness, what we started with, it feels like this is where we're supposed to listen. So you can get in touch with us through the Our Raw Material channel, the Our Raw Material on IG or Instagram. Please subscribe. The Quantress Instagram and YouTube channel. We want to thank Octavius for giving us the space here at Equal Minded Cafe. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Pisces season.
Yeah, Pisces season. And just as you move through this next season with so many planets and energies in Pisces and Aquarius, we really are learning that not only does it take a village, Ubuntu, it takes a village, but lean into that interconnectedness, that rooted spirit, and push back on those beliefs of separateness.
And in order to do that, the essence of those first 6 signs really help build up your personality and confidence in who you are as a person so that you can feel whole, so that every moment does feel perfect.
Yes.
Rather than, how do I fix it?
And remember to breathe. Just
Or swim. It's Pisces season.
yeah,
Breathe in the water, right? Breathe
to
in the
swim,
water.
nadar.
But not all of y'all got deals like this.
We're gonna borrow them and learn how to do that. That's
Yes.
what we're talking about.
Love that. So thank you, Status, for coming. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Marvell, and Bryce, and thank you to Mr. Young. And it's beyond good.